Hello.
We good?
We're on. Let's go, Clyde.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV, and welcome to the long-awaited Season 3 of the Grand Touring Club Cup. Brought to you live from Spa in Belgium. I'm Clyde Whiting, and sharing the booth with me, as usual, it's Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
And on the wheels of steel, doing all the magic in the background, it's an extremely grumpy Sam Boozen tonight because he's having technical issues. Good evening, Sam.
Yo.
There you go. The man of very few words. So, Pete, it's been a while. We've decided to resurrect the series. We've had some fantastic drivers sign up. Like I said, it's been a while in the making, but we're here, and I, for one, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is it is long awaited. The previous GTCC was very, very popular due to other reasons other than the racing. We decided to call it a day, and have decided, due to its popularity and the amount of times that we got told when's it coming back, that we should bring it back. And oh look, Send Cullen isn't dead after all.
It's probably just somebody using his account.
Well, yeah, that's true. So hopefully this will, poke people enough that they'll get interested. We've not got the biggest field yet, but this happens at the start of every season, really, doesn't it? And some of the guys that we want back from the previous GTCC will actually join us. It's going to be a very exciting series once we get going fully. And we need to treat this a bit like a media day, in my opinion. What about you, Clyde?
Well, can you ever treat Spa as a media day?
No, not really.
We've got 21 drivers signed up at the moment, so that's a decent grid for GT3s. But we've also got some names on that grid who we know treat their racing very, very seriously, and I'm pretty sure will want to, if not win tonight, win the championship overall. But we're on a bit early tonight. We've decided to include the famous Simability head-to-head championship in this league. So we are going to do that draw very shortly. But, as you said, Pete, going back to, how popular this series was before, we did have some absolutely fantastic racing, and I'm sure it's just going to carry on in the same vein in Season 3.
Yeah, see why it shouldn't. It was highly competitive, highly sought after in terms of people wanting to race these GT cars back then. No reason for it to change now. It should be a really, really good event once we get going.
Yeah, and I did have a dig back just to see last time we was here and what happened. So it was actually, I think, Season 1 the last time we was here. It was won by Tice Simons in the now retired BMW Z4 GT3. Obviously, we're now using the BMW M4 GT3. The lap record is held by Ben Tusting in a Ferrari 488 GT3. Again, that car has been retired because we now have the same car but the 2020 Evo version. Lap times have tumbled since then. The lap record was 2:17.489. Marco Namela's already done a 2:15, as has wobbly kneecaps. And the last time we actually raced in this series, it was at Barcelona, and it was won by Adam Watson in an Audi R8 LMS. So Spa, Pete, 4.35 miles, 19 turns. Some people love it, some people hate it. iRacing have improved it, haven't they, with the off tracks? And I don't know, it's not a track that I enjoy driving, but it always, again, gives good racing action.
Yeah, it's a great track. It's been made far better for the new track limits that have been applied to it. It used to be an incident collector, and you could almost lose as many incident points as you gained in race points. With the new track limits being very much clearer, as they've done on a number of different tracks, it's become a much better race to do. You're not so concerned about running a little bit wide, so you can really let the cars go a bit further. It's just better all around, to be honest.
Okay, well, while we're on incident points, let's have a brief rundown of the rules. 40-minute practice, 15-minute qualifying session, and a 90-minute race with no fuel limit. These cars can stretch up to around the 60-minute mark, so there's a massive pit window for undercuts, overcuts, and all sorts of tactical choices. Pole position gains you an extra 3 points, and the fastest lap will gain you an extra 1 point. And as usual in our series, drivers will get the drive of shame once they reach 15 incident points, and every subsequent 15 incident points. It's a 10-round championship, so it is all done and dusted on the 11th of December, as he just puts his neck out trying to reach around and look at the calendar. And the head-to-head that we do, for those of you that have not seen it before, so the drivers get drawn into groups, and the first 4 rounds they will be up against all the drivers in their groups, with the top 2 in each group going through to the quarter-final stage. In the quarter-finals, semi-finals, the playoff, and the final, drivers will go head-to-head against one other driver. But we'll talk more about that once we get to that stage of the head-to-head. In the meantime, let's hope that Sam has got everything aligned and we can see our famous head-to-head wheel so that we can do this draw.
No, I do not like it.
Well, you know, to be honest, I haven't had any cake today, so I thought, do you know what? Let's do cake. So, Sam, without further ado, do you want to hit the first spin for us? Now, apologies if I'm a little behind the time here, but I am watching this on the stream. So, first driver drawn into Group 1 will be
Matt
Elmore. Oh. Okay. Just spin it. If he comes up again, we'll get rid of him.
Yeah. It's going to be Shane. That's going to be a tasty one. Teammates.
It is going to be Shane Powell in Group 2.
That one. Right, okay, we're on now. Is that going to be Gary? Oh, yeah.
3
yes.
is going to be Gary Craig, first driver out. And the first driver in Group 4 will be...
Tony Walker.
Tony Walker. Younger brother of Stephen Walker. And I'm sure at some point during the season we will instigate some sort of points for dirt system.
Yeah.
Okay, second driver in Group 2. Joining Matt Elmore is Carl Hardy. The second driver in Group 1. I may have said Group 2 there. Into Group 2, second driver joining Shane Powell. It is I Hate GT3 Cars. Marco Nemela currently sitting top of the pile. Into Group 3, joining Gary Craig, it's going to be Jason Morris. Jason drives with us in our F4 League. Joining Minnie Walker in Group 4, it's Rob Venn. Back to Group 1. Still some big hitters in there. It's Jamie Wilson. We already know Jamie won't be able to make every round due to other commitments. It's a shame the Walker brothers weren't together, but Stephen Walker goes into Group 2. Okay, into Group 3. We have not Matt Elmore because he's already been picked.
Yeah. We'll ditch him now.
So we roll again. Ooh, two big hitters there.
That's 50-50.
Tyler Newitt. Okay, into Group 4. Spencer, is it? Or is it clicked over? It is Spencer McCarthy.
Okay.
Okay, Group 1 joining Matt Elmore, Carl Hardy and Jason Wilson. Jason Wilson, I've got the Pete Bingham bug.
Yeah.
Jamie Wilson, it's Nikolai Bogatyrev. Group 2 joining Shane Powell, Marco Nemela and Stephen Walker. It's Ant Woodward.
That'll be a tasty one, I think.
Group 3 joining Gary Craig, Jason Morris and Tyler Newitt. It's Rick Hedgehog. And Group 4 joining Tony Walker, Rob Venn, Spencer McCarthy. It's Kevin Vemont.
Proper tasty one. There's some good drivers in that one, you know, at the top of the tables.
Okay, fifth driver out in Group 1 is Anthony Jacobson. Fifth driver out in Group 2. It's Adam Wright. No, it's not. It's Russell Cowell. I thought that was going to click over. Fifth driver in Group 3. That's Adam Wright. And the fifth and final driver in Group 4. It's the Wobbler himself. Which means Andrew Littler drops into Group 1 as the sixth driver. So before we discuss those groups, Pete, let's just have a quick rundown. So Group 1, Matt Elmore, Carl Hardy, Jamie Wilson, Nikolai Bogotyrev, Anthony Jacobson, Andrew Littler. I would say that group is wide open.
Yeah, so there's quite even ability levels in there. I quite like that group, to be honest. That one's going to be a tasty one till the next round.
Yeah, certainly. Group 2, Shane Powell, Marco Namela, Stephen Walker, Ant Woodward, and Russell Cowell.
Quite a lot. Back to 6 drivers in that one.
There is, and we know Marco Namela can drive these cars. Stephen Walker seems to be one that can drive anything. So again, that could be tasty.
Really.
So from a Spectre 6 group, we go to a BSTV group. Group 3, Gary Craig, Jason Morris, Tyler Newitt, Rick Verhoog, and Adam Wright.
Yeah. Again, some drivers in there with very high capability that we've seen before. That one should... Yeah, I think they'll be good into race team competition.
Yeah, and again... I think this is a tasty group. Group 4, Tony Walker, Rob Venn, Spencer McCarthy, Kevin Vemont, and Wobbly Kneecaps. I don't know anything about Tony Walker, apart from he is the little brother of Stephen Walker, but I know the other 4 can definitely pedal.
So, yeah. You can only hope that Wobbly gets some sort of lesson from the others in that group. That'll be good.
Yeah, or people could even earn some money out of him. Okay, well that's the head-to-head draw. So the cars, Pete. We've got 8 to choose from of these fantastic GT3 cars. They range in horsepower from 500 to the most powerful, which is 600. Which is the Ferrari. But as we know with the iRacing balance of performance, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. I'm told that they may have got it right this season.
Know much about it, to be honest. I know that paint doesn't look quite right on that car. Or is it just on my screen? Actually, it's just on my screen. It looks right on Sam's screen. Anyway, so I don't know much about GT3 cars at the moment. It's something that I've not driven for such a long time that I'm not really quite sure. So, but I'm going to be educated as we go through the season, to be honest.
Well, yeah, it's about time you got educated, to be fair.
Well,
last time we did these, we've already said that obviously the Lambo has had an update, a big update. Yep. The Ferrari has had a big update. The BMW, the car has changed. The Mercedes, the car has changed as well. What's the oldest car on the grid? It's got to be the Ford GT, hasn't it? Which Wobbly Kneecaps is driving. Yeah,
and I think he did that before he realised exactly who he was up against racing. He's, I don't know, he's not on track at the minute, is he? That's why I can't find him in the timing screens necessarily. But he's making the Ford work for him. Being the oldest car, he's second on the timing screens according to the broadcast at the moment. So making it work in the old car, I don't think it's had an update for a million years.
Well, it certainly hasn't inside, has it? It's still very 1970s inside.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sam will be able to go inside once Wobbly's on track and just show the viewers what we're talking about. But, you know, these cars look fantastic. They sound fantastic. In the right hands, they race fantastically. And Spa as well tends to give us decent races, Pete. So, you know, it looks like all the stars are aligned, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get a nice competitive series of races out of these guys. We've got a lot of very able drivers at the top end. In fact, I'm looking down the field here and I'm seeing probably from just on your screens at the moment, in the timing screens that you've got on there, Spencer McCarthy up over. Any one of those guys could win any race.
Yeah.
It's just going to be an absolute mauling, I reckon, at Spa, because the draft round here is going to be big for these cars as well. I can't wait to get started. Do you remember what happened in the F4 round here? I mean, that was just unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever get a race like that again. Evening to David Ayres on the chat. He asks, where's Fat Boy? Pete is here. If you can't hear him, we'll get him to turn his mic up. No, I believe he's talking about Carl Hardy, who was racing, then he wasn't racing, then he was racing, and now he's not here.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
He's obviously found something better to do, like a pack of donuts or something.
Yeah.
Or perhaps he was just about to join and he's paused the stream with the donut on the screen and he's currently licking his monitor.
Could have happened.
Right, so what can we take from these practice times, Pete? Anything?
We can take that Marco Nemela is either brilliant in every car like we suspect, or he's practiced like mad in expectation of this race. Wobbly, I don't think, has done much driving in that Ford. He's done some practice, and it's definitely showing in some way. The Spectre 6 boys, I think, have put on practice sessions. Matt Elmore and Stephen Walker showing their class there, and Spencer McCarthy showing his. Kevin Viamont back with us after a number of seasons out. He's going to be one to watch, I think. We've seen him be a slow burner before, like he'll start mid-pack and then all of a sudden he's winning. He used to do that in GT4, if you remember.
Certainly did, didn't he?
Yeah, Jamie Wilson, another one very similar to Kevin, in that he doesn't necessarily qualify well, but his race performance is always really good.
Or start well.
Yeah, he's never well off the line, is he? And then Tyler Newitt's just moved up the table a bit before resetting back to the pits. He's always up in the top group with racers. I think we've just cut through to qualifying.
Yeah, now we're going to find out some true pace. But yeah, it was interesting that because I was about to say that Spencer McCarthy was a bit further down than I expected, and then he started moving up. Then I looked at Tyler Newitt and thought, yeah, he's a bit too far down for normal, and he started moving up.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe drivers haven't managed to get much practice in, and they've just used the practice session for what it's for, and get reacquainted with these cars.
And you know that is what it's for. We said the old F4 league was an arrive and drive, but people have started practicing that. Maybe this is going to be the same. Maybe they'll say, "Oh, well, I'll just arrive and drive this one," and then they'll get too much of a taste for it. And it'll become one that they do oodles of hours of practice for and make a massive competition out of it.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I just have that feeling that this is going to get more competitive as we go along.
Yeah, I think so. And 17 races in what is effectively a media day, because we didn't do a media day, did we?
We didn't, no.
So I think this one will attract the viewers and the people who really want to drive this particular challenge. I mean, you got Ben Cullen there, who is always interested in GT cars, isn't he? He likes open wheelers, he likes GT cars, unless he's suddenly changed his spots. Hopefully, we'll see him come back into our, race community again.
I think his mum might have taken his toys away from him.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I think it'll gain popularity. We used to have 40-odd drivers in this series once upon a time, and I think it will... You know, you look at the names in the series, and you've got some competition there. You've got people to aim at all the time. So I think there'll be a much bigger field the next time we go racing.
Well, that we'll wait and see. And talking about next time we go racing, we've got a fantastic schedule for these guys for this season. Obviously, as we are now starting at Spa, 17th of July, we head off to the fantastic Sebring. And then the 7th of August, we're at Le Mans. On the 21st of August, we're at Road Atlanta. Phillip Island makes an appearance on September the 4th. Road America, October the 2nd. On October the 16th, we're at Hungaroring. Bathurst on November the 6th. Love watching GT3 cars around there. Barcelona on November the 20th. And then we finish the season on December the 11th at Silverstone. So some classic GT tracks on there, Pete.
Yeah, I'm like you. I can't wait to see these guys at Bathurst. That'll be a spectacle and no mistake. But the choice of tracks is very good, very suitable for these cars. And yeah, it's going to be one that develops into something that they get addicted to. We had this in the first 2 seasons, didn't we? Ty Simons ran away with this, as far as I remember.
He did, yes.
Yeah, he was a class apart, and that sort of racer will be attracted to those sort of tracks, and I think it bodes well for the whole of the season.
Yeah, it certainly does. So we're into the 15-minute qualifying session. Drivers, the cars that you see the drivers in tonight, they are now locked into these cars. At least until the end of round 5. There is a car change amnesty between rounds 5 and round 6, where drivers can change their vehicle of choice with no penalty. If anybody changes car with outside of that amnesty window, they will lose 200 championship points, which is a massive hit to any title aspirations. But it does stop drivers changing cars willy-nilly and throwing all of our graphical items out every time we race. And we have got a good spread of cars, haven't we, Pete? Trying to work out if we have everything represented. I've seen and Woodward in an Audi.
Yep.
Is there anybody in the BMW? Yeah, I can see one there. Look.
Yeah. Matt Elmore.
Yeah. Anybody in the Lamborghini?
Yep. I think I saw one anyway.
Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson.
In a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the McLaren.
They are.
Rob Venn and Tyler have picked the McLaren. Good lads.
We've got a really good spread of cars, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely seen the Ferrari. We know Wobbly's in the Ford. Merc is definitely out there because it's you. And I think Kevin Vemont at least is in the Porsche.
And Spencer and Stephen Walker are all in the Porsche. And Tony Walker as well. So
all 8 cars represented.
Yeah, and if you remember, I think it was season 2, way back, when iRacing were doing lots of updates on lots of the cars, the Porsche particularly got a lot of a take-up. There was half the field, I think it was, were in the Porsche. So this is very, very healthy, seeing so many different manufacturers represented. I think it's just going to be very, very healthy for the dynamic of the league.
Yeah, Marco Nemela, who topped the practice board, has had a disconnection. He has reconnected, but yet to set a lap in quali.
Yeah, he's got time, has he?
He's
got time. So, yeah, hopefully he can sort that out, because there's nothing more annoying than getting dropped by a session. Yeah, because it's totally out of your control, isn't it? It's your service provider or your connection to the server or something. So yeah, very disappointing when that happens. So hopefully he can recover that and get back into a position that more reflects what he's capable of.
Yes, and we are currently at 9 o'clock in the morning sim time, and the drivers are benefiting from a fairly cool track. The air temperature is 64 degrees Fahrenheit, track temperature 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And if I can remember what button it is to change that to Celsius, which I won't have to bother because Sam's got it up on the screen. So the temperature is 18 degrees, track temperature is 20 degrees in real money.
Cool.
As he quickly goes through all of the options.
So,
Still
see
can't find
people
it.
in the McLaren here as well. Let's go on board with Tyler. We're heading towards Lake Hume. We're on Kemmel Straight here. You start braking generally at the start of the rumble strip back there. Third gear or second gear in these cars, can't remember. Second, just seen it on his dashboard. Through these terms, which is Malmedy, I think it is, or something like that, into this Brussels Forever, almost hairpin, but it's not. It's just such a tight right-hander that goes on forever. And then this left-hander, which is probably my favourite turn on the track. The car just seems to hold all the time. There's that's Jamie Wilson's Lamborghini just getting out of the way. Double gauche here, easily to run wide. Tyler's done a great job of holding that one. And then what's after that? Can't remember this turn, but the ones after the next one is called the Campus, I think. A bit hesitant on the gas there, maybe getting a little bit of drift if the temperatures are as you said they were. Then we come around here, this is Stavalo, I think it is, or something like that. And then we head towards Blanchima, which is one of the fastest left-hand corners ever. Some cars with high downforce, you can take it flat out. I doubt he's going to be able to do that. It's going to be a lift here, surely. Or not. That's really good. These cars must be very planted. And then into the chicane that's called chicane. Usually first gear, and it is. Do the next bit of the lap, because we joined him on the Kemmel Straight. Might as well finish this off. So, last source. Park wherever you feel it's right to. Get as much onto that curb as you can without destabilising the car. Don't run wide. And then probably the most adrenaline forced corner series ever is this. So through Rouge up to Radion up here, the amount of cars that you see disturbed in their traction and spearing off into the right there and slamming into the wall, you see it virtually in every race. So I think that's going to be something to watch out for the folks at home, Clyde.
Yes, I certainly don't doubt that. I can tell you that Marco Namela is out on track. He's just done his out lap, so he is now on his first flying lap with 4 minutes to go. So he may get another one after this.
Yeah, I would think so.
Spencer McCarthy currently top of the pile with a 2-minute 15.6, which is nearly 2 seconds quicker, 1.8 seconds quicker than our previous lap record that, to be fair, was set quite a while ago. Expecting our lap records to come tumbling down this season.
Yeah, and that'll be before the track was remapped by iRacing as well, won't it?
There is that as well, yes.
Yeah, and different tyre models as well. On top of that, different cars. We've got to swap out, like you said before, of a few, and up to 8 in the field now. So, yeah, I think we'll see lots and lots of change in terms of top times. Obviously, we're going to see different people at the winning post, I think.
Yeah, Wobbly's now gone top in the Ford. with a 2:15.3.
I mean, you could have asked me, A, which car type would be on provisional pole at any point, and B, which driver in GT3, and I don't think I'd have picked Wobbly in the Ford. I really wouldn't.
Well, I keep telling people that the Ford is a good car. Nobody believes me.
Well,
Marco Namela, first flying lap, 2:15.1.
That's just very, very good, isn't it? I think he's been lying about injuries.
Well, it was interesting you were saying about, people not taking it serious and blah, 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 blah. That lap will make wobbly kneecaps practice.
Oh, yeah, and Spencer. Who else is going to be, wanting to beat that? Adam.
Ian Walker, Adam.
Yeah.
Jamie, Kevin,
Yeah.
Tyler.
Kevin, definitely, yeah. Russell Cowell.
Right, I'm just going to nip and refill my medicine, ready for the start of the race.
Yeah, and we're hanging off the side of this Mercedes. It sounds amazing. I think this is one of the cars... Oh, no, I do own this one. I've just checked. But I don't remember driving it before. Certainly don't drive it like this. It's in one piece for a start, but there you go. I mean, does the Ford still sound... Can we switch to the Ford, Sam? Is that possible? Yeah, got that higher pitched screech about it. Still got that. It's still got a throaty sound, it's just not quite as deep and thudding as the Mercedes. I think he's trying to get a toe off that Audi in front of him. And this is a screech. I mean, this and the Lamborghini have always sounded very similar to one another. This is Russell Cowell that we're on board with at the moment. As Wobbly parks it in front of him. Ooh, there's somebody stopping. This is Stephen Walker stopping. Tony Walker is he in the Audi? No, he's in the Porsche. As the session goes checkered, so they've got whatever lap they're on. That was a bit wild from Tony Walker there. He's third off bottom at the minute. He's done a good second sector, I think. No, he hasn't. I'm reading his last lap. So he's got a bit of work to do here if he wants to gain any other positions on the likes of Anthony Jacobson or Ant Woodward.
And I'm back. Just in time by the looks of it.
They've got there's only 4 guys out on track at the moment. Tony being one of them. There's Wobbly. Giving Russell Cowell some toe now, even though... he may have gotten his way a little bit going through Lake Hume. He's pulled out of the way. Yeah. Straight to the pits for Wobbly. Let's see if Russell's time improves. Doesn't look like it, I don't think. No, it didn't improve. 0.03 slower than his best. And then Tony Walker here, who's looked a bit ragged heading down towards Brussels out of Malmedy. And he didn't improve. Well, he did improve on his own time, but not in terms of position. So, once this session goes officially live, well, I'll go through the starting grid. Oh, we are. That's very good. And so, your pole man for the first GTCC round of Season 3 is Marco Namela. Who? Marco Namela for Glacier Racing.
Manalia?
Yeah, I just
Is that a
invented a new
flower?
driver. Yeah.
We'll have to change his name now.
Yeah. On the front row with him is Wobbly Kneecaps in second place for BSTV Hexiel Esports. Off third is Stephen Walker for Spectre 6. Spencer McCarthy goes off fourth for Alpine Stars Geodesic. Fifth is Adam Wright for BSTV Esports Orange. Sixth is Matt Elmore for Spectre 6. Seventh is Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera, with Kevin Viamont in eighth for Mika Esports. Ninth will be Russell Cowell for Spectre 6, alongside his, well, they're not in exactly the same team, but it sounds like they are. Shane Powell for Spectre 6 in 10th. 11th, Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports Orange. 12th will be Nikolai Bogotyrev for Never Quit Racing. Ant Woodward will go off 13th for Never Quit Racing as well. Anthony Jacobson will go off 14th. 15th is Tony Walker for Spectre 6 Purple. Rob Venn will go off 16th for BSTV Esports Yellow. And Rick Verhoek will go off 17th.
Rob Venn 16th. That's
Out of
surprising for me.
Yeah, out of character. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I would see him either mid-pack or better in most races.
Yeah, maybe he's not a GT3 driver, but yeah, you normally see him a bit further up the field. So let's see what he can do in this race.
And Jamie on the in sim chat nearly called it a game and got some hate mail. Has reminded everybody that the rolling start goes down into from La Source as opposed to towards La Source. So you go over the start finish line, go around the sharp hairpin, and then towards Eau Rouge is where the guys will put their foot down, regardless of where the safety car has gone in, pace car rather. So.
Yeah, you've got the inset there of Jamie Wilson's start from inside his car.
So we're coming up to La Source now. The start area is around this turn. And I think he's gone. I think he's shot the roost.
Straight away, didn't he? Wobbly's gone with him.
Yeah, Namela didn't get a jump on Wobbly, that's for sure. He's definitely with him there going up the hill.
See what these guys have to do on cold tyres.
Yeah, you sometimes see someone lose the back end up over Radion here.
Ooh, Wobbly's got an awesome run. Not going to do anything with it, he's just going to push him.
Yeah. And in the background as well. So, Kevin Mule challenging, I think that's Tyler, or he was.
He was.
He's dropped right off him. And now he's under pressure. Nikolai giving him a good stare. They're compiling through here down towards Double Gauche.
See, we have no Jason Haddington to give us our obligatory lap 1 spin, so somebody else is going to have to do that, and Nikolai has done it for us.
Oh dear. Where's he done that? Is that Double Gauche? I'm sure we'll see a replay of that at some point.
Just see him spearing off backwards through the gravel.
Oh, here we go. So, chasing Kev. Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, he's just got a twitch, hasn't he?
And Biggin as well, yeah. He didn't hit anything. That's a miracle.
I don't think he's got any damage, has he? It's just it's all going to be head shame.
Yeah. Some blushes, maybe. That Mercedes is.
Maybe a change of underpants.
Yeah, I would think so. Shane Powell and Russell Cowell. That's always going to be funny, isn't it? It sounds like the start of a solicitor's, doesn't it? Cowell, Powell,
hello.
There we go. That's not good.
That's Rob Venn.
Yeah. along with Tony Walker. And who was that overtaking then?
I think maybe
Hedgehog?
Rick Hedgehog was involved in that.
Yeah, we'll see that one
like
again shortly.
Too wide into the chicane, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, no, he just kind of, but he tagged him a little bit.
Looked like there was room there, to be honest.
It did. So here we are back live.
So Mercedes leads Ford, leads Porsche.
Yep. As we said before, all manufacturers well represented.
Not really a breakaway, is it, at the front?
Really not. Half a second. In fact, all the field are very, very close to one another still. The only difference is that Nikolai's hanging off the back by 5 seconds now. Everyone to start finding their rhythm at this point. Especially around a track like Spa.
Yeah, so to preempt things a little bit, you would guess that pit lane will open around the 30-minute mark, there or thereabouts. So, as we said in the pre-show, it's a massive pit window, gives drivers plenty of opportunities to do plenty of different things. I would guess, and it is a guess, that we're not going to see tyres being changed.
You wouldn't have to. I'm now thinking back to GTE days, because I drove that more than I drove GT3. And generally, an hour and a half, you wouldn't need to. There may be a reason that you would. Like, if we were on a particularly hot track and you'd cooked them, or you just wanted better rubber underneath you, then you might go for that. I don't know that any of these cars scrub tyres more than others, because I've not driven them that much. Probably is clearly doing some fuel saving. You wouldn't be off the gas that soon if you weren't. But yeah, I don't think there is a necessity to change. However, it doesn't stop people from doing it to gain some kind of advantage.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look, see if there's any drop-off in lap times throughout the first stint. That'll give us a better idea on whether we think these drivers are going to change tyres or not.
I mean, at the minute, it's all very all over the place. So, fastest car in Sector 1 is... who is the fastest car in Sector 1? I haven't got one on here. It was Matt Elmore in Sector 2, Marco Namela in Sector 3, Spencer in Sector 4, Stephen Walker in Sector 5, and Stephen Walker overall. So everybody's got a share. That's all different car types as well. Everybody's got a share of the top sector times at the moment, and that is only healthy, isn't it? It means that no one car is getting an advantage over any other.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, and as we've seen many times before, races like this can be, won on the pit stop or lost on the pit stop with a small mistake.
Speeding generally in these cars.
Yeah, or an iRacing bug where, you only take one tyre or 3 tyres.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Spencer's alone in the geodesic Alpine Stars outfit.
Yeah, maybe Sam's not allowed to play out at the weekend.
This could be it, yeah.
Although there are other guys in that team. Matt Flannery springs to mind.
Well, when I go official racing, you see generally at least one in every GT style race. I don't remember any of the names because there's a few that knock about, but yeah, it's quite a developed team, I think.
Yeah, Spencer could be the scout, reporting back to the rest of the team what the racing was like, blah 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 blah. And I'm sure we're going to have people watching tonight that will be with us next time out.
Yeah, and I wonder, for someone like Wobbly, how many laps has he done in one stint? Has he done enough to test the tyre wear on that Ford?
Not a hope in hell.
No, I don't think so either.
3 laps crash.
Maybe. And I wonder, is he driving beyond the limits of the car's capability to keep the tyres for, 90 minutes worth of racing? It might be that some people are really harsh on their tyres and need to pit because they've got nothing left. Marco Namela generally is pretty good on tyres, isn't he? He doesn't absolutely nail the car. So I think he's going to be the benchmark for the... Ooh, that's Wobbly off.
There you go.
And that looked like all on his lonesome.
Just as I said, 3 laps crash. We're on lap 4.
We're on lap 4, yeah. Can you say something about me winning the lottery? That would really help me at the minute.
See if we can work out what happened here.
I think he's got a tyre off.
Itty bit of grass on the right hand side, maybe.
We'd have to see that from a different angle to know for sure. I mean, the car looks good, doesn't it? You would drive that if you could afford.
Oh, without a doubt.
Or rather, afford the fuel. Here we go. Yeah, a bit on the gravel just there.
2 tyres, I think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too greedy on the curb.
Yeah.
But again, no damage.
No, it's really good actually that what we have seen as errors hasn't resulted in anybody feeling the need to retire. Because we know what Wobbly's like, don't we? That's a good curb cam. Quite like that.
Why is Gary Craig on the chat and not racing?
I think he was very absorbed in the F1 and then IndyCar. And yes, Gary, Wobbly did self-murder nearly then. So, Matt Elmore here, putting some pressure onto Adam Wright. There's no problem cooling that BMW, is there? That grille is massive.
It is on all BMWs these days, isn't it? But then again, look at the Merc.
Yeah.
It's got a big mouth on it.
Gary's asking. I think Gary's now either bored or just wanting to do something else because he's asking to go on and ask Wobbly if he wants to play Hell Let Loose. Wobbly's racing and he needs to race for another... How far in are we? Just nearly quarter of an hour or something like that. 10 minutes in.
11 minutes in, yeah.
Been fairly eventful already, it's good.
Which, to be fair, is good for Wobbly because we saw he was quick. What can he rescue out of this?
Yeah, he did some very good times as well. What is his fastest so far? Where has he gone to? Can't even find him in the standings anymore. There he is. So he's done a 2:16.29, which is the second fastest lap of anybody. So he's definitely got it in his locker to do very fast times, but is he going to push the envelope too hard again?
Well, you know, it's a 90-minute race. He doesn't have to turn it into a sprint race.
No.
There's going to be attrition one way or another. He just needs to make sure he's not part of that attrition. And he could still end up with a half-decent result.
Yeah, it's all to play for. I don't know whether you can see people joining the session or not, Clyde, but maybe that's just a spectator. Who knows? Anyway.
Yancey Lynn.
Yancey Lynn, yeah.
Yeah. He's raced with us before in something.
Yeah, I think it was V8. Oh, that's going to end up in a bit of tears there.
That was Adam Wright and Shane Powell, was it?
I think it was Matt Elmore.
Or Matt Elmore?
It looked like a BMW, but I might be wrong. No, it's definitely a BMW looking at that.
He's gone on the outside, inside.
How'd you call that one?
That's always a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. It was narrow margins for both of them.
For me, I always blame the car behind.
Well, you have to pass safely, don't you? So,
I don't think he really had anything up the inside that would make Adam give him the racing room. But then, on the other hand, you can always say, you've got your mirrors. You can see he's there somewhere. Do you give space just to be on the safe side?
Yeah. And this is now Adam.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is now Adam Wright chasing down at Woodward. And Jamie is now in 5th place as a result of that.
Yeah, he's sneaking up, isn't he? Stealthily, like a ninja.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. He doesn't always start well. He certainly doesn't come off the line well in a few of the cars lately. But over the course of the race, he ends up in a really good position by the end.
Yeah, Adam Wright puts that move on, and Woodward. Gap at the front, the mailer to Walker Senior is staying about the same, even with Wobbly out of the way. Now, Wobbly's back inside the top 10 in 9th, now chasing Tyler Newitt.
And pressure on Stephen Walker here. I mean, these two are used to sharing the same bit of tarmac in TCRs. And again, Marco Nemela, he's not generally hard on tyres, but I'm sure something as big and heavy as a Mercedes-Benz like that, it's going to have, maybe it's not going to be as good as the Porsches.
Probably sounds good.
I was saying that when you were out getting medicine or whatever you were doing earlier. So that is Jamie Wilson now ahead of Matt Elmore, so he's made short work of Matt. Maybe Matt's got some damage after his coming together with Adam a little earlier. Doesn't look like it though. Car looks clean. Sometimes damage can be in your head, can't it? If you know you've had a little bit of a bump, you're not sure how much of an extent it is.
Yes, and then you
gets
can,
in your head.
Yeah, you have imaginary problems with the car, don't you?
Yeah. Always good to see fire gouting out of the back of the McLaren.
Yeah. Although, my wish list to the iRacing gods, let's get rid of the Audi because nobody loves it. As much as I love looking at the Ford, it's now too old, so get rid of it. Bring me an Aston Martin GT3 and
awesome.
Bring me the Bentley Continental GT3.
It's a bit like a house brick, don't you think?
It is the most fantastic sounding race car I have ever heard in my life.
Do they still use it as the pace car at Daytona?
That I don't know.
Alright.
I followed, or I went to a few British GT races pre-COVID, and you always knew when that thing was coming past you.
It'd shake the drink out your hand.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. This is a bit tasty. This is Rick Hedgehog and Tony Walker.
Yeah, and Stephen Walker is creeping towards the back of Marco Nemela now. and
Yeah.
dragging Spencer McCarthy with him.
Yeah, those two drivers get into a rhythm very much. Always good at a track like Spa to do that. A bit of metronomic driving. And we know that they're good at overtaking as well. They can set people up, can't they? So that could get interesting in a few laps, don't you think?
Yes, especially if Stephen and Spencer get into the draft.
I think Stephen might already be in it. Because I think it's about a second and a half, but I'm not sure. Oh, no, Adam. Now, that is an odd place. That seems to me that he's got on the gas too soon. Coming out of... where is that, actually?
Yeah, you see the witness marks on the track.
I think that... Yeah. Campus, I think that is. So he'll go around this...
It's on his own.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is. It's where I thought it was, yeah. Did he hit anything? Not really.
No, I think he did.
Good effort. It's an odd one, that. Very hot tyres, maybe? Don't know. Ooh, that's close. Rick keeps ahead of Tony there. Tony's putting up a good fight here, though.
Yeah, somebody that... so, I don't think he's ever raced with us before.
No.
But someone that, if he can get a little bit of coaching off of his brother, he's certainly going to move up the pecking order.
Yep. Wobbly overtaking Tyler.
Yeah, Wobbly got past Russell, now he's got past Tyler, up into 7th. Shane Powell next on his hit list.
Here comes Tony again. Rick nailed to the right-hand side and lets him go. And he's going very slow, I don't understand.
Slow down,
Rick goes,
maybe?
oh, yes, it will be when it coming over radio. It's an easy one to pick up as well. What air between Stephen and Spencer now?
Yeah, but they are definitely in Nemela's toe now.
Oh yeah, easily.
You can see that visually, let alone looking at the timing board. Coming up on 20 minutes gone.
Moore has not let Jamie get away. He's crawling all over him at the minute. But
20 minutes, Pete. This must be Wobbly's longest ever race.
oh dear. It's twice as long as we usually see him on the track, isn't it? He's usually gone by now. Look at these three here now. Ooh, that's a bit wild. Ooh.
Waggy, waggy.
Yeah. Russell says thank you very much, Tyler, for losing the back end there. Put over Radion.
I'm told that the handling on the McLaren has improved a lot recently.
Right.
I remember buying it when it first came out, and it was one of those cars that sort of said, look, if you look at me the wrong way, I'm going to kill you. So is Stephen Walker going to be content sat behind Marco Nemela and saving a bit of fuel?
He could do for a while. I think he'll be more concerned that Spencer's that close to him, to be fair. He might want to mix things up before they get to a pit stop in order that he gets some sort of advantage. Because I don't know whether you get an undercut or an overcut in the pits here with these cars. I'm not sure how that all works, to be honest. Strategy is far from my strongest suit.
Yeah, but these three have got a good 11-second gap back to Jamie Wilson, so They can afford to go side by side for a few corners and not lose too much. But strategy and patience is all part of endurance racing. As we see Adam Wright. Was that Adam Wright?
Yeah, with Rob Venn behind him now.
Yeah.
It does sound amazing, doesn't it, that Merc? It really does. Throaty.
Yeah, it's very grunty, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought Marco Namela had turned up the wick a minute ago, but Stephen's back with him very much. And will have a massive amount of tow now. I mean, that Mercedes is as wide as a cross-channel ferry, isn't it? And they cut a massive hole in the air.
It's not sitting behind and waiting.
No, he's having it. Let's see what Marco does. He might be trying to hit a number, you see, and he might just be happy to sit there.
I was literally just going to say that he's led the first 10 laps. Is this now his opportunity to save a bit of fuel? Or is Spencer going to put a move on him as well, and he goes from first to third?
I don't so let Stephen get away, because he knows what Stephen's like in TCR, and we've seen Stephen win races by quite some significant margins in the past. He'll want to keep with him, I think. Looking back towards Spencer's car. This might be it for Spencer here. That looks like aggressive behaviour, doesn't it? Defensive from Marco. Covers it off well.
Yeah, I think he's better off doing what Stephen did and gluing himself to the back through Eau Rouge and Radion, and then he's got the Kemmel Straight, hasn't he, to get past.
Yeah, and he'll be a bit worried that Stephen's managed to pull, what's that, about 4 or 5 car lengths?
Yeah, and even with that overtake in there, they've pulled another second on Jamie Wilson.
Yeah. Back here with Mr. Hedgehog, or we were for a second there anyway.
Yeah, Stephen Walker trying to break the toe.
Oh, and Marco Namela's just vanished. As in, gone.
He has, hasn't he?
I think that is a connection issue, because he's not reappeared at all. That's going to be a huge loss.
He did have an issue, didn't he, at the in the qualifying session? Sorry.
Yeah, and it says against his name that he is out now as he drops down the order on the broadcast. Maybe did you on the chat? There's Rick chasing down Nikolai.
Yeah, wobbly kneecaps back up to 5th now. Marco Namela on the chat said that iRacing doesn't like him. It crashed. That's such a shame, Marco. You've done really well there for somebody that can't drive GT3 cars. I certainly wish I couldn't drive them like you.
Not to drive anything when iRacing ditches you like that, isn't it?
Saying position dropped due to upload packet loss.
Yeah, please put Shane behind him now, so his next target is Matt Elmore. He's got a little bit of track between him and Matt Elmore though, 4 seconds. But he's pulling away from Shane pretty quickly. Got some horsepower that Ford, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
You can see the gap that he's got to cross now.
So we are a third of the way through, and I can tell you that there are 2 drivers on 8 incident points, so over halfway towards a drive of shame. And there's somebody on 9 as well.
Must be one of the people that we've seen spin, because you get 2 for a bit of that, don't you?
Yeah, well, obviously I can't say too much.
No, not
we
at
don't
all.
want to give anybody an unfair advantage.
This is Russell Howell closing in on Tyler. I think that's Tyler, isn't it? Yeah, it's Tyler. Pretty much sticking with Jamie. And Jamie getting slowly dropped by the front 2, would you say?
Yeah, that's been creeping up for quite a while, to be honest. But Jamie has got Matt Elmore for company. Wobbly is chasing them down with Shane Powell behind him. Tyler Newitt and Russell Cowell only just behind that, and then Kevin Veermont just behind them. So, again, depending on these pit stops, which the window I would guess is about to open, we could see these gaps widen or come back together again.
And interestingly, Mark Onamela says the end of his race would have been a struggle with no rear tyres, so maybe his tyres were already going off, which is why the others were catching him. And also that the Ford uses no fuel. So that's unusual for an American-made GT, isn't it?
Yeah, they do normally need a petrol tanker behind them.
Yeah, so maybe that means that Wobbly's going to end up with a shorter stop. And we saw him saving fuel behind Marco until his moment of embarrassment. So maybe he can promote himself back into maybe that gap between Jamie and Spencer.
And 5 seconds, isn't it? And he's on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. And he is cutting this gap down already. It was 4.23, I think it was, a lap and a bit ago. He's now got it down to 3.88. So he'll be back in it in no time, I think. And there's, like you say, there's plenty of racing. There's another hour of racing yet.
Yeah, and it looks like this is going to be a bit of a tasty battle here, which again is going to play into Wobbly's hands.
Yeah, Matt's not actually pulling any moves on Jamie at the moment. He's staying patient. There's been some opportunities where he's pulled right onto the back of that Lamborghini and not stepped out to show his nose too much or anything like that. I think he's still content to sit there for now because the gap in front of Jamie is massive, isn't it? 14.7 seconds. If he was going to do anything, it'd be probably here into the chicane, or maybe he wants to think about it down Kemmel Straight, because then if you overtake here at the chicane, the other person's got Kemmel Straight to get the toe on you, hasn't they?
Exactly, yes. We've seen that so many times in the past.
Yeah.
But from Matt's point of view, if he feels that Jamie is holding him up, he's going to have to do something about him. Otherwise, the gap to Spencer McCarthy is just going to stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you really don't want to be settling, do you, for third place
No.
when you're only a third of the way through the race, as we see Kevin Veermont, the first one to take the pit stop.
That's an interesting time to take it. He's got an hour left. I wonder if he takes tyres or anything like that. Probably not, I would think. Although if the Mercedes is chewing tyres, and he said it'd be interesting by the end, Marco said it'd be interesting by the end, who knows what all the cars will do.
Well, I shall keep an eye on Kevin and let you know whether he changes tyres or not.
Is he even in his pit box yet? Because it takes about 3 hours.
Not yet.
Marco says he uses lots of tyres, so ignore the statement I made earlier about him being conservative on them. Oh, door to door! Oh, sorry.
That was at a standstill in his pit box. Not sure whether these fuel and then tyres. I think it's fuel then tyres. So, definitely no tyres on the Porsche.
No.
So, let's keep an eye on Kevin's lap times now and see what he can do.
So, Adam, we saw dispatch Mr. Hedgehog not that long ago. He's already on to... Who is that? Tony? No, Nikolai, sorry, Nikolai.
Nikolai, yeah, he's just got past.
Nikolai's paint job is quite nice.
Quite chromy.
Yeah. I'm trying to see more of the detail of it, but it's difficult when he's travelling that quick. Smart, I like that. It's very sympathetic to the shape of the car, I like it. Well designed. Well done, whoever that was.
Let's see what speed these cars are getting up to. 160
oh, there we go. Look at that. Wild rides. Wild rides down the side. That's nice.
So that's Ant's company.
Yeah, and Nikolai's pattern. Do you remember he always had a red and white V8 with that pattern on it?
Yes.
Yeah, that pattern's on the roof, so that's good as well. Like that. Simability slaps across the front of it. Always good to see them as a sponsor on any car. SB Designs on the cars. Who's that then? Ooh, that was a car that just appeared out of nowhere on my screen. Right, Spencer looks to be getting a bit fighty now.
Yeah, maybe it's hammer time.
Maybe it is. It might be near pit stop time well, he may be wondering when pit stop time is for Stephen.
Yeah, surely he's got to do something different to Stephen.
Yeah, because otherwise he's going to end up in exactly the same position. So, let's see what he actually manages to do.
Always makes me giggle. You can see at the bottom of your screen, and Woodward is in the pit, and our graphic says, woo! They're both staying out this lap. So it's a good half an hour pit window. So we're not really going to have a proper shakedown until we're in the final third of the race.
Yeah, I think it was visible there that Matt Elmore's got through some of that rear rubber.
Yeah, and Wobbly's also taken another 2 seconds out of those two in front in the last 3 laps.
Yeah, good spot. 2.3 seconds now. Not too much more, and he'll be able to sniff the exhaust fumes and get some tow.
on board with Spencer McCarthy. You can see what DVD he's watching there.
Marco says he could do 26 laps in the Merc. I guess on the tyres he's meaning. Or is that on the fuel? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 2.6 laps on the tyres.
Yeah. Yeah. Token fuel, yeah. So this is lap 17. So middle of the pit window really at the moment, aren't we?
We certainly are.
And how many takers have we actually had? Just 2. Kevin and Ant.
Yeah, this has got Lucky Walker written all over it, hasn't it? He voodooed Wobbly off the track.
Yeah.
Voodooed Marco's internet connection.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler!
There's that McLaren twitch.
Oh, that's a big hit. Yeah.
But we're on.
Yeah. Silverstone rear wing on it. And if he pits this lap, then it's in the pit window, isn't it? You know what I mean? Do we free repair these guys?
Just the one.
Just the one? Into the toe Spencer goes and draws back up to the exhaust pipes of that Porsche in front of him.
Yeah, Porsche leading the way.
And Jamie Wilson 17.5 seconds further back down the road from these two. Quite a gap, isn't it, that these two have pulled?
Yeah.
Obviously, the ejection of Wobbly on his own and Marco on his internet helped them along significantly.
I think Wobbly is pretty much in tow range of that Wilson-Elmore battle now.
1.5 seconds. I think he's got to get a bit nearer than that. But it won't be long. Adam Wright, is he in the pits now? Just?
He is.
So he may have a little bit of associated damage to repair.
Yeah, well, he's in pit lane, so he's got another 11 miles until he gets to his pit box.
Yeah. Pit stop time, 5 seconds. Pit lane time, 24 minutes. The first time I did this layout, and I hadn't seen my pit box by the time I'd gone round that bend, I thought, oh, I've missed my pit box again.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
Yeah.
I think I qualified last in a big grid, and I was basically the only car on the first part of the pit lane. And as I was going round the corner, in my rear view mirror, I'm like, "What is that guy waving at me for?" And then I couldn't find my pit box and worked out why.
Yeah. I did that at Donington. That was shameful. I was concentrating so much on getting down to speed. I didn't think my pit box would be the very first one. Went sailing past it, and of course you guys got it all on camera.
I don't remember that one, Pete.
Everybody else does. They remind me of it on a regular basis. But no, my Spa one was, I went round the corner and thought, well, that's the end of pit lane, isn't it? And then I thought, where's all these pit boxes come from? Oh, there's mine.
So, number of drivers still to pit. Looks like they are. I don't know what they're not taking tyres, so we see quite a bit in the V8s when we know how hungry they are for tyres. That a lot of drivers tend to stop halfway through the race. But if these guys are not taking tyres, there's no advantage there. Wobbly is definitely on the back of Matt Elmore now.
Yeah, very much inside the slipstream window there. Yeah, it's all about, if you want a decent advantage, then you're going to fuel save as long as you can keep the pace, right? Because that gets you, a shorter stop, slightly less fuel, slightly less stationary time. With a pit lane as long as this, it's just soul destroying, isn't it, when you're in there? So I suppose make your pit stop as short as possible and gain an advantage that way.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Spencer hasn't been in.
You want to do some sort of undercut?
There's not going to be an undercut with people not taking tyres, but just to do something different. Maybe even try and throw a spanner at Stephen Walker's head and make him think that you're doing something different.
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting because Camel Straight's going to be a double toe for Wobbly. And he's not going to want to mess about, is he? He's going to be wanting at least a podium finish here because he started in second. He's going to feel disappointed on anything worse than a podium.
Yeah, leaders are starting to come up on the first of the back markers.
Interesting.
And, they are obviously drivers that have pitted.
Yeah. So we've had a few people in. Rob Venn is our latest pit lane visitor. He's in at the moment. Kevin Viamont, Tyler, Ant Woodward and Adam are all visitors to pit road, I think.
Kevin was the first one in, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's quite an early pit stop as well. It looks Adam right in front of him. Oh, it is Adam right in front of him.
It is, yeah. And then Ant Woodward's not too much further up the road.
Stephen's not bothered about having back markers in front of him.
Oh, like you say, sometimes that can be the catalyst, can't it, for pitting? If you feel that you're going to get held up, it's time to get back out in some clear track, which obviously they should come back into.
I mean, he might just be using the toe for one lap of Adam and then pit after that.
Yeah, because Adam's not a slouch, is he? It's not,
No.
he's not at the back because he's slow. We've seen him spin, we've seen him pit. But we are just over halfway.
Moves over.
It's over, yeah.
Lets the two leaders through. It's not his fight. Next one up the road is Ant Woodward, I think. Looking at that Audi. Yep.
Is anybody going to blink this lap?
I thought that... Ooh, see Wobbly go sideways around that last corner there. You got lots of wheel spin coming out of there. I thought he'd have been challenging these guys before now, because he pulled onto the back of them really very quickly, didn't he?
The leaders have gone round again. And Woodward is pulled into Germany.
To let them through. I don't think Wobbly's been closer than this to the back of Matt's car. There's got to be a slowdown in there for Ant Woodward. Surely he took loads of the curb at Radio.
Yeah, me too, Ant.
No, I think they both got one.
Oh, you're joking. That's hilarious.
Jason Morris on the chat. He's missed the start because he thought it was an 8 o'clock start.
Oh, right. Oh, dear. Ant Woodward. We'll have to see that again in a minute once this is all over. Here comes Wobbly.
See the end of that. So, Wobbly up to 4th. Is this death by Audi?
He's gone hot into the... Oh, he has gone very hot into
didn't
the...
he? Yes.
Is that rear view mirror, do you think? Oh, he's trying to find a gear there as well. So, Wobbly's dispatched Matt Elmore. Jamie is his next victim. Tyler, what are you doing? Oh, he's caught it. Has he?
Held
Has
it,
he?
yeah.
Oh, has he? No!
No, he hasn't. No,
Red.
he did, and he didn't.
Yeah, red hot tyres, that is. Get out of the wall! Oh, he's hit it. If that was Dave Jansen, if you remember, he'd be shouting, "No wall!"
Yeah. There you go. Just barbecue out the back.
Yeah,
Pete could have burnt some sausages on that.
could have done. Right then, back at the front here. These guys are going again. This is lap 22, and by Marco's numbers, 4 more laps than the Merc would have had to go in. Nothing between these two, though, is there? They are absolutely lap for lap.
It's like watching them in TCR, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And of course, it gets to this point, and even if Stevens pulled a bit of a gap, Spencer just hauls it back in the tow. I mean, he's taken 2/10 back in Kemmel Straight there. Right. Wobbly and his lack of rear wheel traction has a little look.
Yeah, there was nothing there, was there? That was
No.
just for annoyance.
Yeah, too far back on this particular occasion.
And just to annoy Pete, if any of the drivers are listening, we haven't seen any light flashing yet.
We're supposed to be able to see into the back of the Ford. There's a little square patch, and you can see the inside of it. It's weird.
It's the letterbox.
A letterbox.
And there you can see the very 1970s interior. Well, they have updated it with a digital dash.
Well, this is very odd. I've lost iRacing myself now.
Okay, Jamie, Wobbly and Matt Elmore all stay out. Leaders have stayed out. So we are coming up on 53 minutes. We are now on lap 24. Peter's just gone quiet because he's got icky hands.
Right, so it's binned me completely. I'm going to try and reload that while you guys do other stuff.
Yeah, so Jamie Wilson is, or can be, very difficult to overtake. So Wobbly needs to be getting as much as he can done in the pit stop. So personally, if I was Wobbly, I would be in this lap unless Jamie pits, and then I would stay out. Same with Spencer McCarthy as well. It's getting towards the end of the fuel run. He really doesn't want to be coming in at the same time as Stephen Walker, unless he thinks he can most definitely get it done, and he's just playing with his mind. But they're both staying out again. For this third place battle to come round, they are 25 seconds behind the lead battle. Okay, is any of them going to blink? Jamie, no. Wobbly, no. Matt, no. Okay, Adam Wright, Tyler Newitt. Whoa, that was very, very nearly blue on blue, and very, very nearly a horrible accident for Adam Wright, but he managed to get it sort of gathered up with just a couple of scrapes on the wall.
See, Tyler's striding on regardless. Oh, here we go.
Wobbly's making a move on Jamie Wilson.
Not going to get it done there necessarily. No.
Jamie is difficult to get past. He is the new BSTV kidney stone.
Yeah.
I'm watching all three screens at the moment at the same time with my Nicholas Hamilton eyes. Stephen Walker and Spencer McCarthy are having a friendly chat about fuel, and Stephen Walker comes in just. I say just, he had a very big wiggle. Spencer McCarthy stays out and takes the lead.
In the room.
Yeah, just watch this wiggle.
Right.
I don't know if it was a last minute decision by Stephen, but just... It didn't look too bad from that angle. It looked worse from overhead.
Do you think that he was trying to throw Spencer off a little?
Possibly.
Right, few visitors now. In fact, lots of visitors. Stephen's been followed by Jamie, by Matt, by Russell. On my screen, it's saying that Tyler's in.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
And Adam. So have they caused each other damage?
I don't think so.
No.
Adam possibly had damage because he did have a couple of slaps on either side of the walls.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure they touched going uphill.
Right. Thing is a coincidence for me, you see.
So Adam, Jamie. Okay, Stephen Walker is out. Let's see what Spencer McCarthy does. I'm going to assume that both him and Wobbly are going to be in this lap, although Marco did tell us that the Ford can run on fresh air, so Wobbly may have a few more laps of fuel left. And Tyler is gone.
He's literally gone.
Yes.
Ah, no. And Adam's car is in the air, so he's taking tyres. But not moving after his tyres. Ah, here's Spencer.
Spencer's in. It's also going to drag Wobbly in. I should keep an eye on Stephen Walker, see where he is on track. Yep,
Please gone to pit road.
In.
Yep. Tyler says he had a drive-through and he hates Spa, so he quit. And he also says that Wobbly says the Ford is getting awful fuel mileage, so that goes against what Marco was saying.
Hoff commenting on Tyler's remark from last night.
Yeah.
Potty mouth Tyler forgot where he was.
Spencer, come back out.
Where is he's still there, but he's round the corner in pit lane currency.
Postcode in terms of distance, he's moving now.
This is going to be close.
It looks like he's going to be ahead.
Yeah, but then we get Stephen.
Look at that, he's all the way up the hill.
Yeah, Stephen's up to speed.
True.
Spencer's going to be gathering speed, but like you say, I think he's done a little bit of a number there. He's definitely jumped into the lead.
He's closing on him though. I mean, the gap is coming down rapidly, but it's 2.2 seconds. Spencer's pulled a blinder here, potentially. And Wobbly is still an eon behind.
Yeah, it's a good 25 seconds. But even Wobbly has pulled 2 seconds, 2 and a bit seconds on Jamie Wilson, who has pulled 3-4 seconds on Matt Elmore. So those three all came in together.
Yep. Nikolai closing in on Tony Walker there. That's a mangled looking Wobbly. What has happened? So this is getting towards the end of Kemmel Straight. Turns in and does that. Is that a failure of internet or is he just annoyed?
Could have been a failure of Wobbly.
Yeah. Don't know what's going on there at all. See if we can see if anything went particularly wrong. So up to 6th gear, should have been braking already. didn't. He's still in control of the car, looking at the steering wheel.
That just looks like Wobbly being an arse.
Yeah. Maybe he's just trying to figure out how long something like that takes to repair. Oh, it could be a pit lane penalty, a speeding penalty according to Marco. Because he's just come out of the pits, hasn't he? And yes, Wobbly got a speeding penalty, so he threw a strop.
Yeah, which I don't like to see, if I'm honest.
No. Jan van Gogh says alternative line.
Or maybe an alternative pit lane start in the next race.
Me?
Maybe we should start charging the BSTV drivers to race and they might take it a bit more serious.
Yeah, that could work.
Something I was going to say before we saw that petulance from Wobbly. Honorary mention to Tony Walker. He's had a very, very quiet race, but sees himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, you keep it clean, do your own thing, don't get involved in battles that you don't need to, and you can get some decent results, can't you?
Yeah.
Doing a great job with it, to be honest. He's part of the Spectre 6 troop as well, but he's in the purple. I didn't have a paint for him this time around because he joined quite late. So we'll see him in full regalia next time. He's trying to chase down Anthony Jacobson at the moment, whilst he's got Nikolai closing in on him.
So, what can Stephen Walker do about this 2-second gap to Spencer McCarthy? We've got 25 minutes to go, Pete.
Well, the gap is steady, is what I'd describe it as. I'm sure it was 2.2 seconds at the end of Camel Straight, the first time out of the pits for Stephen, was it? No, Spencer. No, Stephen, of course. So I don't think he's making any inroads yet. His last lap was 0.2, nearly 0.3 of a second slower. No tyres were taken, so that's going to be relative. It's back to 2.4 again. It's just hovering around that. So maybe Spencer's got enough in his locker to manage that gap. But Stephen's got to do something if he wants to take the trophy back with him. That was a very fast closing speed from Nikolai there. It's not benefited him. And if anything, Spencer's pulling out a gap slowly. It's up to 2.6 seconds nearly now.
Yeah, keeping an eye on that gap up the front. Like you say, it's ebbing and flowing between 2 seconds and 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. So maybe it'll come down if Spencer ends up chewing his tyres, because most of the first half of the race he was comfortably sat behind Stephen. Probably saving tyres as well as fuel. Well, clearly as well as fuel, because that's how I think how he's got his extra couple of seconds on Stephen. But you might find that he scrubbed his tyres a bit more while he's out on his own. That sometimes happens with certain drivers. What we see here is Ant Woodward closing in on Rick Hedgehog. And then back to this battle with Tony Walker in the middle of the sandwich here. To move. Ooh. And he's just lost it.
You know, the iRacing physics is not, you know, it's nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but it certainly looked like it was. You know, when a car goes around the outside of you and takes your downforce away.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a part of it. He was certainly carrying a lot of speed through that corner, and would have been on a tighter line than normal. So I think he's been caught out on a number of different ways there, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It says that Ant clipped the inside curb. That would have destabilised the car sufficiently. Oh, and now it's...
That's Ant again.
Yeah, is he trying to turn the other way so he can get into the pits? Oh, no, just to try and get round. Okay. So this is the incident. Yeah, good spot, Marco. Yeah.
Yeah. And just couldn't get it back.
No, and then had issues at the chicane a little bit further on as well.
Yeah, maybe he had melty tyres by then.
Yeah, looped it in the second part of the chicane. That might be to do with the front end damage, though. Well, we'll have to wait and see how he gets on.
Shane Powell and Russell Cowell are having a ding-dong battle as well. 1 minute, one's right up behind the other one, and then there's a couple of seconds gap. Gap at the front still between 2 and 2.5 seconds.
Steady, that gap, isn't it? And the gap back to Jamie Wilson seems fairly static at the minute. 33, 34 seconds.
Yeah, Matt Elmore doesn't seem to be able to do anything to get back to Jamie, does he?
Not quite, no. It does come down at times. I think I've been watching it, and I think that's very much Kemmel Straight related. Nicole, good job here, staying in the toe of Anthony. Getting slightly closer every lap. Just to answer Jan van Gorp's question, this is separate to GT4 TCR. These are GT3 cars, as you probably spotted, and we've relaunched the GTCC series that we ran a few, well, it was over a year ago, roughly, wasn't it, Clyde?
Yeah.
It was a popular series before, and very hard fought for, and we've relaunched it for a third season, so if you like what you see, then please join up.
Yeah, I keep getting excited with that gap at the front. I look up and it's down to like 2.1 seconds, and then I look away at something else, look back up, and it's 2.5 seconds again.
That something has happened there because Spencer was
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
a bit further ahead than he is now.
It's
So
1.2.
yeah, and it does tell me on my event tracker that Stephen Walker went off track, but SDK detects the old version of incidents, so I'm going to disbelieve that.
Just having a look at incident points at the moment. Two guys up the front are well within safety margins so far. Now that gap has gone up to 2 seconds again. What is going on?
2, but then SDK just interprets it the way it wants.
Second.
Yeah. I would be very patient with the timing. I've got it just over a second at the minute. Oh, and that's not going to help Stephen because he just went sideways out of the chicane at the back end.
But this is his chance, isn't it? If he's in that toe,
Yeah.
he can close this up.
He's got 16 minutes to do it.
16
So
minutes, yeah.
yeah.
Are these guys now suffering with tyre wear?
Oh, doubt they'll feel rotten at the minute. They're over a second and a half slower than they were earlier in the race, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, obviously we're now 10:30 in the morning sim time. Track temperature has gone up about 3 degrees. Actually more than that, isn't it? It was 20 when we started, so it's gone up 6 degrees.
And that will have, that'll have a big effect.
Big effect on worn tyres.
Here comes Nikolai. So he's been tailing Anthony Jacobson for quite a long time and not managed to do anything about him.
Yeah, and Jacobson, another one that's had a quiet, unassuming race, but finds himself inside the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, and Woodward's had enough.
Yeah, parked it. There's a lot of damage he took, wasn't it, when he hit the wall? So, he's looped it again.
And that would have been a drive of shame for Ant.
Ah, okay. Tried to hide his car behind the wall. Did you see that? They'll not notice me back here.
I think a couple of laps and this battle for the win is going to be on.
Yeah, he's brought it down to under a second now, Stephen, as we watch Nikolai still, or we were. I mean, if he can get onto the back of him in the next couple of laps, his timing will be impeccable.
Yeah, that was 0.3 he gained down the Kemmel Straight.
Wow. And of course, the nearer you get, the more you gain, don't you? So
Exactly.
Cowell is in close company as well, with his sister teammate of Shane. I think there's going to be a pass done here. I don't know how much fighting there'll be for it. No, taking a defensive line. He's fighting this one off.
He's going to be right on his rear wing with about 10 minutes to go.
You're talking about front battle, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Spencer's managed to put a little bit of air between them, but a bit more than when they were at the end of the Kemmel Straight last time.
Yeah, Spencer's trying everything he can to break the toe, which, as we all know, is very difficult round here.
There's a few close battles knocking about. This is probably equal of them. So we should get a monster toe. I don't think he'll be able to do anything with it on this particular lap as Spencer tries to break it again, like you were saying. Closes right up again.
End of the Kemmel Straight last lap, it was a 7/10 gap. It was 5/10 this time.
He seemed to lose the ground towards the end of the lap. So I don't know whether Spencer's just a little bit smoother through those last turns in the last lap.
Well, you've heard of win it or bin it. I think this is going to be send it or bend it.
Oh, that's a mistake. But he might be able to defend that. Oh, he's trying to get on the gas. Is Anthony Jacobson. And that kind of netted out at 0, didn't it? Each one making a mistake of some sort. Russell not managed to get past Shane here. Marker might come into play in a moment. It's the Ferrari of Rick Hedgehog who decides that the pits is safer.
I don't need to pit, but I'm going to anyway.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. That'll be a drive of shame, I think, for Rick Hedgehog.
Let me have a look. Where is Mr. I think you're right.
Right, this is the lap where it could happen unless he's going to just sit on it until the last. What would you do, Clyde? Would you do him now and try and pull away, or would you leave it till the last lap because you only have to win that one?
It's such a difficult call, isn't it? Whatever happens, you've got to do it on the Kemmel Straight and then try and defend after that. You can't do it. I don't know what the start straight is called, but you can't do it there and then try and defend the Kemmel Straight, can you?
No way. So he managed to hang that round. I mean, these two, total respect for one another. You could see that they both gave each other miles of racing room. I'm sure Spencer will be repaying the favour, providing he's got the tyres underneath him by the time they get round to Kemmel Straight again.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the question now, isn't it? Is if tyres Spencer's are worn, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which we don't know that they are. Will the toe keep him close enough to make a move? Is Spencer just, from what you were saying, do you leave it till the last lap? Is Spencer quite happy to run round in second, knowing that he may be able to do something down the Kemmel Straight on the final lap? But a lot of times around Spa, when you've got two very, very evenly matched drivers, it comes down to the final chicane. And somebody will try and run down the inside and be defensive. If you're late on the brakes around the outside and you can get half a car on them, you're then in pole position for the left-hand part of the chicane. So it's definitely not over, is it?
No way. And again, there's still the same 3 battles ongoing. Oh, he's having a really good look there. That was Nikolai on Anthony again.
It's Rob Venn in front of him. We know Rob is a sensible driver. He won't want any part of this at all when they get to him. He says as Rob wipes both the leaders out.
Looking back through the flames of
there you go.
the McLaren, he's let them go.
I thought I see flames just as we flicked across then.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my old eyes. Right, where are we? We've got just over 6 minutes, so we're running out of laps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Spencer may well be content to just sit there till the last lap and then, just keep his stuff together and then put it all on the table at once.
Yeah, and to be honest, both of these drivers have impressed me. We know they can pedal a TCR car. If somebody had have asked me about the winner before the race started, I would have gone with Wobbly or Marco Namela, and I would have expected these two to put on a show, but possibly battling for the 3rd step on the podium. And maybe they are out of position. Maybe those other 2 drivers I mentioned, are quicker than these, but these 2 are still on track. What the hell is going on with Nikolai?
And Anthony. I'm pretty sure Anthony crashed. They were nowhere near one another.
Well, Nikolai will be very dizzy after that.
Is he still in VR? He'll have filled his VR set with sick if he is. They both crashed in different ways. They were nowhere near one another.
Oil on the track.
What on earth?
You see that from overhead, Sam?
That's just inexplicable. Somebody needs to tell us what happened. Anthony's trying to desperately get back to the pits there. So overhead. Came around this corner. Still miles apart. And then... Oh, right. It's the next one. Sorry. What?
So one went left and one went right?
I have no explanation
No,
for that.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yes, somebody asks, is this the Jason Haddington impersonation session? I've never seen that before. Marco says they both lifted and both got lift off oversteer.
But in different directions.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and Yamrango.
I don't think it was netcode.
Squirrel ran across the track. Yeah, and Rick Hedgehog's penalty he didn't serve it properly, so he's got to go back again. That's very sad for Rick.
Yeah, it's very strange as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
it's quite difficult not to serve a drive-through penalty.
Well, I once got a bit...
Is it possible he was speeding?
What, speeding doing his penalty and then got another one?
And then got another penalty?
I think always a chance of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I have had it where I accidentally pressed the gas pedal when I was serving a penalty once and my car went forward about a millimetre and then it sent me and I had to do it again. So that was in V8s once.
You accidentally pressed the accelerator.
Yeah.
That is a conscious movement by your foot.
I think I did something like sneezed or something like that, or had an itch and just moved the gas pedal just the tiniest amount, and it sent my car like 1 millimetre forward, and iRacing reacted to it.
Operator error.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
2.5 minutes.
Right then, Spencer's visibly nearer again now, and got a good run. So is he going to do something with it, or is he going to sit there?
Yeah, or is this a training manoeuvre for the last lap?
Yeah, he's alongside. This is a fight.
This is on.
Yeah. If this was ice hockey, there'd be gloves on the floor.
There's one more lap. So, how will Spencer defend the Kemmel Straight?
Bolting it to the right-hand side. It's the only way to do it. Send the other car around the outside.
I'm not convinced that'll work.
Well, with enough overspeed, you would be ahead of the car anyway, wouldn't you, by the time you got to Lake Coombe? I think Rick has had to go in a third time because he keeps stopping in the pit box rather than just driving through.
Yeah, that might be what it is.
Yeah. I've not done that before. Every day's an education.
Clue is in the name. Drive-through penalty.
Yeah. Never mind, we all learn in different ways. Or apart from me, who just does the same mistake over and over again.
Right. So
he can't go in again because he's done too many laps, so I think he's been DQ'd.
this is it. And I think, am I right in thinking that although the start line is down here somewhere, the finish line is actually on the previous little bit of straight?
My understanding, yeah, and I think race director just said yes.
Right. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing, and you say you wouldn't do that.
No, that is the only way you can, but
Yeah, but then that
it doesn't
happens.
always work.
Oh, he's staying with him, and he's giving him room. Very fair racing. I like it. And he's managing to keep it. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Little love tap.
That's one defence ticked.
Well done, Nikolai, for keeping out of this one.
Yeah, in a very battered car.
Well, he's only got to finish. He'll get good points. He's 9th. Right then, so this is going to go right the way to the end, isn't it? Chicane is the next decent place.
Yeah, he's going to need to be closer than this, though.
Rick's busy birch branching himself for the error, but if you don't know, you don't know, you know. He'll know for next time, that's for sure. Every day's a school day. Right, then he needs to be closer than this, doesn't he? That's too much, I think.
Well, Spencer's going to swing it right and stay on the right-hand side, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'll be the same as Kemmel. Yeah.
Oh, he's back on it now.
Look at this.
Yeah. No, this is where I'm saying, if you can hang it round the outside...
Oh, was that touch? Oh, well, oh, he's overcooked it. They've both done that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can sometimes drag to the line, but it's not happening today. So,
there you go.
are we going again?
No,
No.
that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Spencer McCarthy takes away the opening win in Season 3 of GTCC with Stephen Walker in second. Jamie Wilson's going to come home a very, very lonely third.
message to remove.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
And they go.
Oh, I'm enjoying that.
It wasn't the hentai one like the last time. Wobbly's just clicked that link, he said.
No, I didn't even get a chance to click it.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey!
It's Yaz.
They must know you, Clyde. Stop jerking cheaper than Tinder, apparently. I think Wobbly's computer's now got a virus. So, yeah, we've got a couple of cars still to cross the line. Tony Walker, in his first time out, is going to finish 8th once he eventually crosses the line. That's a really good result from him.
Yeah, who are we
There we go, done.
waiting to finish?
Well, Tony's just crossed the line, so...
yeah, because Rick was DQ'd, wasn't he? So that's
Yeah.
everybody across the line. Well, fantastic battle from these two, Pete.
Yeah,
So
very
I
respectful.
think we was, or I thought we was going to be robbed of a great race when Wobbly had his spin and Marco had his disconnect, but these two took over that mantle and certainly put a show on.
It did. It bodes very well for future races, to be honest, because we know that Marco and Wobbly are very, very quick in their respective cars, and if they can sort out their tyre wear, etc., and their connection, well, tonight it was iRacing that dropped me, and that's not happened to me for a few years. So I don't know whether something's going on with the iRacing service tonight. But yeah,
Well, maybe it was just removing ugly people.
maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was. Not got anything more to say about that, to be honest.
And if anybody disagrees, just have a look at Marco Namela's profile picture on iRacing.
I liked that Jamie Wilson came home third. He kept his car out of trouble. He was some way back, so I think he'll be looking at why he was some way back.
Yeah, but a typical Jamie Wilson race.
Yeah. He didn't qualify particularly well, but he still moved up in the rankings.
Yeah, didn't do anything spectacular, but finds himself on the third step of the podium.
Yeah, and you're not going to argue with it. Oh, you take that every day against these guys.
And Marco said he was in good shape in that picture.
Oh dear. Right, so Season 3, Round 1 finishes thusly. In first place, Spencer McCarthy for Alpine Stars Geodesic. Second was Stephen Walker for Spectre 6. As we just mentioned, Jamie Wilson fulfilled the third step of the podium tonight for Team Chimera. In fourth was Matt Elmore for Spectre 6, and his teammate followed him home, Shane Powell. Sixth was Russell Cowell, also for Spectre 6, but a different Spectre 6. Kevin Viemont finished in seventh. That's a good result for Mika Esports in his first race back with us, and great result from Tony Walker for Spectre 6 Purple. Nikolai Bogotyrev with the most bizarre crash I've seen in a long time for Never Quit Racing, finished 9th. Rob Venn was 10th for BSTV Esports Yellow. Anthony Jacobson, the other half of the strangest crash in the world, was 11th for Result Clothing. Then we had 12th, Rick Verhoek, 13th, Ant Woodward, 14th, Wobbly, 15th, Adam Wright, 16th, Tyler Newitt, and lastly, Marco Namela after his iRacing betrayed him and a disconnect.
Yeah, and well, Spa didn't disappoint. I think the drivers on show didn't disappoint, and I think quite rightly, Pete, as you pointed out, I think this bodes well for the rest of the season and some more fantastic GT3 racing.
Yeah. looking at where we go next again, in case anybody missed it from the start. The next round is at Sebring on July 17th. These cars are perfect for Sebring. They're perfect for Spa as well. And then Le Mans. So, we start with 3 super fast tracks. Sebring's very technical, just like Spa is. But it's iron flat. There's no elevation change there. Maybe that'll make a difference to some of these cars who potentially struggled with it today.
Well, there are elevation changes on the track, aren't there?
They're called
through
curves.
Sunset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The bumps through Sunset. Oh, that's going to be interesting to see how some of the bigger cars like the Merc and the Ford handle those bumps. That obviously, the longer your wheelbase, the more disturbance you get. So I think that's going to be great. If we can get the rest of the people who didn't turn up today for whatever reason, getting the times wrong, etc., then we'll end up with an even bigger field, and it'll be even more exciting.
Okay, so let's get these post-race interviews underway, and let's bring in our race winner, Spencer McCarthy. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Now, I will admit, rightly or wrongly, I didn't expect to be interviewing you as the winner. We know you can pedal. But I honestly thought it would take you a little while to grow into this car. But, what an absolutely fantastic battle with Lucky Pants Walker.
I know. That was amazing. That was it was. Obviously I know Stephen really well from TCRs, and I knew that once we started off that the set I had was a little bit slow down the straights, to put it mildly. I think I was having to keep it in the toe quite a lot. I mean, I couldn't really even save that much. I was having to sort of power, up to them quite a lot. I was gaining a bit through the infield, but I just didn't want to lose that toe down the straights, because then they're just going to just disappear and leave me standing. So once Marco dropped back and then he disappeared, unfortunately, bad luck for him. I think he might have had a plan to drop back and then go back past later. I'm wondering, but that was unlucky for him. And then obviously Wobbly spun it as well. So once it was just me and Stephen, I was like, right, okay, well, all I've really got to do here, my only real, offense here is to just save fuel, sit behind him, and we just sort of drag away, and then see where we are for the pit stops. Hoping to get as much as I could off them, but yeah.
Yeah, we was trying, obviously, last couple of laps there, we was trying to work out whether you was going to leave it to the Kemmel straight on the last lap, or whether you would try and get into the lead before then and defend. Obviously, you took the latter option. It was a brave call, because it's not easy to defend, is it, on this track?
No, it's not. It's not, especially with the speed deficit I had. I mean, yeah, I knew I nearly did it. When he came past me the first time, it was a bit of a trial run, sort of see how late I could brake and hold the corner and stuff. And we did quite well side by side through there the first time. But I was pushing my luck a little bit. I mean, me and Stephen can lean on each other, and we do give each other some space. It wasn't a lot of space, but we did pretty well there, I thought. And yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things that I was really close on that particular lap. I wouldn't have got probably. I might not have got another chance on the last lap to do that. To even get that close, and really through the infield, you're going to be kind of really having a dive somewhere. So yeah, I mean, it was that or the last corner. I was, he'll sort of, he might know, I don't know, but when I was following him, once he got past and I was following him, as we were coming through Blanchimont, I was lifting, because I did have a bit of an overspeed on him for some reason coming out of Blanchimont. So I thought, well, that's maybe where I'm going to have a go at the last chicane, but which is obviously what he tried to do. But yeah, it worked out as it did, and I mean, I can't thank Stephen enough for such a great race. He's such a great competitor to race with, and he's always on it. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, and Sebring next time out. Obviously, we're used to seeing you in the TCR and pedalling for 60 minutes. Now you've done, obviously we don't know what else you do. You could do 12-hour races all on your own for all we know.
No.
But, you had that extra half an hour tonight. We've got Enduro coming up in GT4. How are you liking the longer races?
Yeah, okay. I just need to make sure I've got a drink next to me because I think a bit dehydrated now. That extra
Well,
half an hour of sweat.
we better let you go and have a beer then.
Sounds like a good plan.
Any shout outs you want to give or dedications for your opening round win?
Yeah, obviously, Stephen. Amazing to race with him. Unlucky for Wobbly. I mean, and thanks guys for putting on this series. Just let's give something different a go. I haven't raced a GT3 in about 2 years. Not that I'm, trying to make this, but that was quite special to come out on the first time and actually being with a chance, let alone win it. So yeah, no, I'm well happy with that. And thanks a lot, guys.
Well, congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll see you next time out, Spencer McCarthy.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, Pete, next up for you, it's Lucky Pants himself.
Good evening, Stephen. How you doing?
All right, guys, I'm good, thank you.
Awesome stuff. Similarly to the conversation that we just had with Spencer, if I was to have put my name on who we would be crowning in this race, you would have been way up there, but I don't think I'd have chosen your name, only because I've seen others driving the GT3 cars in the past, like Marco, etc. And they've all had a bit of misfortune, but your race with Spencer tonight was phenomenal. Obviously, you're both very familiar from GT4 TCR, but what was your opinion of that? Because for me, I've got a bottle of beer here. Just there you go. And I forgot to drink half of it because I was that intrigued as to what you two were going to do.
Yeah, it was the usual kind of race that Spencer and I have had for a couple of seasons here, and like you say, in the TCR. It was, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty knackered, I'll be honest. It was just brilliant. It was just so much fun. I knew he was saving fuel behind me, maybe not as much as what I thought he was, but at the same time, I just thought, well, I'll just go as fast as I can and then see how it goes. Like I think he had a bit of a better car than I did. So when we came out after the pits, I was like, if I just stick to what I can do, and I might be able to catch him. I don't know whether he had a little wobble somewhere or he just had a little mistake that enabled me to get in the tow. And then once I managed to get that, obviously the rest is history. But I wasn't expecting to do that well. I would have taken a top 5 going into it with the names that I saw on the grid. It's a shame about Wobbly having an issue, and Marco, I've watched him race the V8, so I know how quick he is.
Yeah.
So I was expecting him, to be honest, once Wobbly went off, to just drive away, but he just kind of came back to Spencer and me. And I was like, well, I'm not going to not overtake him just because I wanted to make the gap larger to the guys even behind us. Just so if I wanted to do something different in the pits, I had the option to, because we ended up with like a 20-30 second gap before the pits, I think.
Yeah, that's right, you did. And when you came around last horse and were probably aware that Spencer was already moving down pit road, were you confident that you could still catch him?
I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure. I felt that he had, like I say, he had the better car while he was behind me, and I felt like he could have gone past me at any point if he really wanted to. But the closing speed was a bit more than I expected. And I thought, like I say, if I just stick to doing my laps, I had decent pace, so I thought I'd be able to maybe at least keep the gap unless he made a mistake or we came across a back marker. That was my only hope, really. And he kind of, like I said, I don't know whether it was a mistake or whatever, but we managed to catch him and have like a really fun end to the race.
Yeah, it was nail biting stuff from our perspective, and so close, just so close. And your brother, he's done really well tonight. He had a nice, quiet race, kept out of trouble, got himself an eighth place finish, up 7, which is the highest forward moving car that we have. I'm sure that's not the right terminology, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
He's done a really good job with that tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. He was nervous. It's his first like league kind of race on iRacing, and I said if you tend to start going quicker once you join a league. Like doing officials is fine, but league you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of pick up pace a little bit quicker. I know that I have since I've joined the league. So I was like, just do it, see how you go. Like no pressure. And obviously, like you say, he's kept out of trouble. Other people got in trouble. He's made like you say, really good progress. Yeah, it's great for them. Hopefully, it continues.
Leagues are a proper community as well, so you get to know that you can trust these guys. You can't trust people, strangers in the officials, to not do something ridiculous. Whereas in these leagues, everybody, you get to know who you can push and who you can't. So he will benefit from that. You're absolutely right. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your second place finish tonight?
Yeah, the rest of the team, I think all of us finished inside the top 10. We would have all taken that at the start of the race. You guys for putting on another league. It's nice to drive something a little bit quicker, a little bit different than what we used to. Obviously, coming from TCR and now GT4. So, thanks for putting it on, and hopefully it continues.
In that case, thanks for an amazing, entertaining night's racing, and we'll see you on Wednesday, Stephen Walker.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have your third place finisher, Jamie Wilson. Welcome to the booth.
Bonjour.
I didn't call you Jason, which is good. So when I was summing up the race, then I said it was a typical Jamie Wilson race. Unspectacular, but stealthy like a ninja, and coming home on the podium. I don't quite know how you do it, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, it's just I get in the car and click drive when the grid thing comes up. No, it's it was a somewhat, I wouldn't say anonymous race, because obviously I had a lot of battles there that probably weren't particularly entertaining from a broadcast point of view, but it was still 100% trying to stay in front of Matt and that kind of thing. Wobbly had a bit of a bite at me at one point as well. But yeah, it was just, I got lucky there with obviously Marco having his issues, Wobbly having a wobblyism or two. And yeah, just sort of inherited third and was able to just about keep hold of it.
You say just about. To be honest, mate, it was a comfortable third place for you. Now we know you can't do all of the rounds because of your IndyCar commitments, but how do you find the GT3 racing? Is it something you do a lot of, or something you enjoy and wish you could do more of?
I mean, the latter of those. It's been quite a long time since we as a team did GT3 stuff. We tried to qualify for the Blanchima World Championship stuff. I don't know how long that was ago, probably 5 years or so now. And we just missed the cut 3 years in a row. So we didn't really bother with it after that. I did do the Suzuka 10 hours in this car in November, which was a good sort of one-off thing to do. But yeah, the cars are fantastic. They've made some changes to them in recent builds. And yeah, I don't know why, but the Lambo in particular, I get the same kind of feedback and feel for that as I do in like the F4 or something like that. I feel very comfortable in it. So yeah, it's a shame I can't do all the rounds, but all the ones I can do, I certainly will.
Yeah, the cars. You probably tell me I'm totally wrong here, but they all looked very balanced compared with each other. Whereas you used to have a particular GT3 that it was head and shoulders above the rest, like they've done with the TCRs. But the BOP looks to be good this season.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how that sits in like the official world or high profile GT3 leagues, what the balance is at that kind of level, but yes, and it's good that we've got a complete spread of cars. If not, we're close to it.
We have, yes, we had all 8 cars represented tonight.
Yeah, perfect. That's because Wobbly's mad. But yeah, fantastic. I think there might be some tracks that expose flaws in certain cars. I don't know if we go to Monza or something like that. That would be an example of somewhere that would typically highlight that there's a particularly strong car. or if there's something really twisty, that would probably favour the Porsche. But yeah, generally speaking, they're all fairly close.
Yeah, well, I say again, we know you can't do the full season, but certainly tonight's racing bodes well for the rest of the season. So, any shout-outs you want to give after your third place finish tonight?
Yep, shout out to Tyler for being behind me, because that was the aim. And yeah, yourselves putting it on as always. And also to Tyler for doing some of the number boards and stuff. All look good. So yeah, and of course everyone I was fighting with, it was all super clean out there. So good stuff.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again on your third place, and we'll see you next time out, Jamie Wilson.
Cheers, guys.
Right, guys, that is the interviews over. It's time to put you on the spot. And I'm going to start with Pete and ask him for his driver of the evening.
I think I'm going to go for Tony Walker because it sounds like it's his first league race. He's advanced up the field more than any other racer. All right, that's the attrition of others out of the race, but still, to get an 8th place in your first race in a GT3 car in a league with competitive races like this is too good to ignore.
Excellent. And Sam, your driver of the evening.
Good question. I don't know. I haven't had time to think about it, so can you go please, Clyde, first?
Yeah, right. I'll get Sam out of the shit, and I shall go for my driver of the evening. And mine is I was gonna pick him on the result because he was doing extremely well. And he did have a little bit of a foobar right near the end, but at that point my vote did switch over to Tony Walker for the exact reasons that Pete said. I didn't expect Pete to vote for Tony, so I'm going to go back to my original choice. And for a fantastic race for an hour and 25 minutes, my vote is going to go to Anthony Jacobson.
Yeah, good vote.
So
it's all on Sam.
to be fair, I still don't know, so I'm gonna vote for the naked.hd something that first in the chat. Obviously, don't click on the link, even though there's no link, but he's done a quiet race, and he's only up 1 place, but he kept it out of trouble. So I'm gonna vote for Kevin. I think, I haven't seen him, but it's a good result, 7th. He's behind some great names, so yeah.
Yeah, another driver that was on my radar thinking about it. Another one with a quiet race, like you say, kept out of trouble and came away with a half decent result. So that's the driver of the evening vote done. Before we finish this, guys, GTCC, it's back. The racing is just the same. We've seen some extremely clean racing tonight. And again, as Pete said right at the start, people kept asking us to bring it back, and we kept saying no, and we kept saying no, and then we brought it back, and I'm glad we did, Pete.
Yeah, definitely. I think the field will grow quite quickly, I think, once people get wind of it. Tonight's broadcast will have inspired others, especially when you look at like Stephen and Spencer racing like they were. That's got to be inspiration for anybody. And reassuring when you see someone like Tony Walker, new to league racing. And league races are tougher, in my opinion, than officials. they're tougher because the caliber of person in them generally is very, very high. You don't get the psychos that you get in officials, who will, even if they're fast, they'll grant you some positions from time to time because they do the most random things. These are quality racers, and you can learn so much from them. So this bodes well for the future. This does.
And Sam, from the cameras, plenty of action for you to keep up with.
Plenty of action and plenty of trouble behind the scenes as well, which is great. I've watched like out of the race. It's a shame because it looks really good.
Well, let's see if we can get Sam sorted out with mine and Pete's technical PC knowledge, and we'll get him all fixed and up and running again for Wednesday. Right, guys, so that was the end of round 1. Coming up in the next week on BSTV, we are back in GT4 TCR action on Wednesday with our first ever enduro round, another 90-minute race just like tonight. There's going to be a couple of pit stops, and we're going to be racing at Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, for the uneducated. Looking forward to that. And then next Saturday we have the final round of season 11 of the Simability V8 European Supercar Series. That is from, I think it's Laguna Seca, and that closes out the season, ready for us to go again in season 12. So it just leaves me to say a big thank you to all the drivers for putting on that show tonight. Thank you to everybody that joined in the chat, even Naked HD right at the end there. Perhaps you should think about racing rather than posting spam messages. A big thanks to Pete for joining me in the booth, and big thanks to Sam for keeping everything running under stressful conditions when everything else around you is burning. So I shall say goodnight, let the guys say goodnight, and then we'll close the broadcast. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I know you'll have enjoyed it. If you did want to join, then you know what to do. Go to the website, Backfire Simsport TV, and register. Good evening.
And good evening, everybody.